Since 1955, Road America has provided entertainment for thousands, if not millions, of race fans across the country and played host to some of the best driving talent across the world. Tonight, the 280 Truck Series visits Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and the historic Road America to take on 70 laps of grueling left and right turns tonight in these NASCAR Truck Series trucks. We'll follow along the action tonight. We're going to light the fuse on this race and hopefully get started real quick. Drivers just now finishing up qualifying. Before we get to the racing action, let's go ahead and go over our point standings after the exciting race we had at Atlanta last week. Kyle Nadeau still hanging on to that top spot with 164 points. Just 9 points behind him is going to be his teammate, Crank Bell, in that number 14 machine. Brandon Torres holding strong in third in the 95, just 13 points behind. Starting to challenge Bell for that second spot. We'll see if that comes to fruition tonight. Zach Miller still hanging out in fourth place, and fifth place, Caleb Hayes, up 2 spots last week. Sean Sullivan, just 35 points behind the leader, and only 1 point behind Hayes for that top 5, that last spot in the top 5. Jeff Dotson still sitting P7. Greg Burchett down 1 spot after last week. Had some trouble late race, wound up wadded up in the wall, and just not a great finish for him last week. We'll see if we can find a little bit of redemption this week at Road America. Alex Wiggins up 5 spots. Of course, your winner from last week at Atlanta put on a great performance in the final couple restarts at the end of the race and was able to hold off in the dough for that win. That's going to put him in 9th place in our overall standings right now. Doug Argabright up 1 spot. My color coding's a little bit off, pardon me. Argabright up 1 spot last week. He's 60 points behind. 11th is Zach Laugen in that number 24 machine. He's actually down 5 spots, dropping him out of the top 10 in points at 63 points behind. All these drivers still very close together. It's anybody's battle. But we're creeping up on the halfway point of the season, and the championship run begins in earnest now that we've got a pretty solid field of drivers, many back from various duties for our armed forces and such, and hopefully they're able to settle in and find their pace and run their race this week. Rounding out to the top 12 in points, that's going to be Nick Rossie's up 1 point, or 1 position, from last week. That's going to put him on the bottom of that top 12 list. Go ahead and bring up our qualifying standings really quickly. If they don't just disappear on me. Here we go. Top of the board, starting first is your winner from last week. That's going to be Alex Wiggins in the number 11 machine. Kyle Nadeau. This is looking a lot like last week's leaderboard. I tell you what, Nadeau is going to start second. Jensen starting third, and we are getting ready to actually go green, so let's get on board with it. Start a pace lap. I take it back. We're having an unorthodox standing start. Not sure what's happening there, but we're under green. No pace laps to be had this week. We'll go ahead and get this off your screen. It doesn't matter who starts where, because they've already started. Get our leaderboard up here. Wiggins with a great launch off the standing start that I'm sure these drivers were not prepared for. Nadeau running him down in second in that low Chevrolet. Well, it's looking like a cat and mouse game so far up front. I know right behind them, there is a battle brewing here for second place on back. It's a hornet's nest back here, but everyone made it through turn 1, 2, and 3 nice and tidy so far. On board with the 21 of Sean O'Brien right now. Trying to chase down the 29 of Jensen, who's had a strong going since he kicked off his presence here in the 280 Truck Series with a win at Darlington Raceway. Skipping back just a little bit, it's number 5, Aaron Mack, all over the back bumper of Brandon Torres and the 95 Toyota. Hard on the brakes. Into the right-hander. No trouble as we see the 3 and the 23 side by side behind them. Max going to send it to the inside. Going to have a look. Not going to make it stick to the inside. Torres going to hold him off for now for that 6th spot. Now firmly to the inside is the 5 of Mack. Almost makes a little bit of contact there. No harm, no foul as he comes sliding through turn 1. Gonna poke that nose out yet again, trying to play mind games with that 95 machine. As he's trying to do that, 14 of Bell is sneaking up behind. Frank Bell with some work to do in that 14. Still looking for that lead in the points standings over his teammate who holds a few more spots on track than he does right now. Going to try to work his way up through the field as we go. We'll see if we can possibly see some unorthodox pit strategy as we so often seem to see from Bell. Usually seems to work out pretty well for him. We'll see what happens today as we're just now kicking off the action. Settling down here, let's kick it back to the back of the field. We got the 22, the 442, the 63, all in an absolute mess back here. Side by side in front of them, it's going to be Justin Bissett and Randall Peasley fighting tooth and nail over that 17th spot. Shallow line there for gotta check my notes here. Not even sure who looking at right here. We got the 49 of Jamie Capehart, newcomer to the 280 Truck Series. Just making the pass. That's Mike Morcrid. Okay. Quite a few new faces in the field. Glad to have new additions every week. It seems like we got a strong 23 car field today, and I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of competition to go around here at Road America These drivers display their road racing prowess that we only get to see one time this season. This is it. So if they've got road racing talent, it's time to show it off here tonight. Go back up to this battle. We see a truck off track back there. That looks like Greg Burchett. See if we can find out what happened with Burchett. Looks fine right here. Go ahead on the replay. Just got into the corner a little bit too hot. Slid the back out. Looks to be okay, possibly, but I thought we saw him off track on the right-hand side. Maybe got out of shape again. Not the first time we're going to see a driver off track tonight, and then surely won't be the last. Greg Burchett definitely hoping for a caution after that one. Two Toyotas going at it. It's going to be the 95 of Torres and the 56 of Smith in that Mountain Dew Code Red machine. Smith showing good speed, up 2 spots already. Brandon falling back 3 spots from the start. But does seem to have plenty of pace in that truck as he sends it to the inside. A shallow entry there. It's going to cost him off the corner. The 56 is going to pull 4 car lengths off the corner and relegate Torres back to that 11th position, falling just outside the top 10 now. Could be the 56 of Smith setting his sights on. Oh, as you see a massive wiggle out of the 3 truck. That's Jeff Dotson having a bit of a moment there. The 2 hungry Toyotas behind him looking to capitalize. Looking to the outside now. Can't make it happen, but he's going to have to stick it there anyway because he's got Torres all over the inside. Torres to the inside of Smith, down into turn 1. Torres makes it stick. Smith yields. Still very early in this race. 30 laps race. We just started lap 4. No need to make too many enemies just yet. Plenty of time to work your way through traffic. Seeing a lot of slipping and sliding out of that number 3. These drivers are going to have to be very conscious about what they do with their tires. These tires very sensitive to heat buildup. And tell you how you generate a lot of heat buildup. That's through using those brakes too much. You say, well, how can you use the brakes too much? Lockups. You see the 95 locking up that right front right there. That little bit of tire smoke. That's going to heat up that tire. That's going to heat up that brake. And potentially cause some handling issues. And that front end is not going to want to turn if you do that too much. Cooling them back down is very hard to do under race conditions because to do that, you've got to drive slower. You got to give up time. You got to give up speed to let those components of your truck cool down and cool down the tires as well. As we see the 56 do the exact same thing, the 95 of Torres is going to undercut and take that spot right back. This has been quite the battle for the 10th spot so far, but for right now, it's going to be Torres. Skipping back up to the 3rd position, we've got, sorry, not 3rd. Got a truck off track. That's going to be Daniel Jensen. Out of shape in that Coors Light Chevrolet. Or sorry, Coors Banquet Chevrolet. My mistake. Gathers it back together. Only manages to lose a couple spots there. Still solidly within the top 10. Should have pace to make up that ground. Field beginning to spread out quite a lot. We've got a whole minute of gap between the leader and 20th place right now. For those of you not familiar with Road America, NASCAR's only gone here one time in the past couple of seasons. It is no longer on the schedule. But who better to take a ride along with than your leader, Alex Wiggins. We'll let him make his way around the track. We'll hop on board after the final turn and take a lap around Road America. Road America, a pretty long course consisting of 12 corners in total. Sorry, 14 corners in total. Providing legendary racing action for over 65 years so far. There's 640 acres of beautiful park-like grounds around this racing facility, and it is a major attraction for campers and race fans alike throughout the racing season. And in just a moment, we'll take a ride along here. With Alex Wiggins out of the final corner and down the front straightaway across the start-finish line to start lap 6. Very high speeds down into turn 1, getting down into the brakes all the way down to second gear here. Through 1. It actually counts as slight kink, counts as turn 2. Down into turn 3 here, once again down to second gear. Low speeds, got to be careful on these rumble strips on exit, especially on worn tires. It could get you out of shape if you're not careful. And once again, through the gears, down the back stretch, under the cheese bridge. Down through the Wherein sweep and into turn 5. Turn 5, one of the tightest corners on the track. Heavy braking, good passing opportunity if you're within range. If you're good on the brakes, that is a good spot to make your passes. Then up the hill under the Corvette bridge. Comes the left-hander at turn 6. Now comes a bit of a rhythm section of the track. A quick left-hander, quick high-speed right-hander. Get a good exit here. That's going to set you up down the hill into another left-hander. That's going to be turn 8. Now entering the carousel. That's turns 9 and 10. Under the Speedville Bridge. Through turn 10 now. Maximizing the exit of that track, because this is the fastest part of the track. We got a high-speed right-hand kink here. Can't quite keep it out, wide out in these trucks, but definitely still a high-speed corner. And you want to keep your momentum up there as a driver to avoid somebody getting to the inside of you here. Diving down into turn 12. This is Canada corner. Coming here through Thunder Valley, flanked by trees on both sides. To the left hand, number 13. And finally, the right-hander, turn 14, and back onto the Road America straight and to the start-finish line off the corner. Up the hill they go through the gears. Car gets a little bit light there. Got to be careful not to be doing too much steering over the crest. And that is one lap here at Road America. Good to see the Torres fan club in chat. I see you, Mr. Dylan Reimer. I see you down there in chat as well, Eric, pumping up the Coast Guard. Let's go, Sully and Rozzy. You jump back now. Tight battle once again. This is between the 73 Josh Emerson, 46 Mike Morkred. Josh going to give that spot up into turn 1. Not going to make too much of an issue about it. Still a long way to go in this race. Definitely going to see a couple pit stops between now and the finish. These drivers going to want new tires probably sooner rather than later. As we see Randall Peasley pull off on a pit lane. Possibly the first of our green flag pit stops. We shall see. Alongside again. Emerson to the inside, Morker to the outside. Emerson slides wide. Takes that undercut. Good racing between these two. Emerson's going to take that 16th spot from Morker for now. But as we saw once already, it might not be over. Very, very easy to make mistakes. Very easy to lock up that right front or left front, depending on the corner tire. And slide just too wide, trying to make an overtake. And as we saw with Torres and Dotson earlier, it was it definitely can change quickly based on one bad slide through a corner. Gap out front still sitting at about 1.5, 1 3/4 seconds between Wiggins and the 97 of Nadeau. Very similar paces between these drivers. Last lap for Wiggins, quite a bit faster though, 2:16.07 to a 2:17.06. These two kind of trading lap times back and forth throughout the race. But your leader's starting to hit some lap traffic. We see he's running into Greg Burchett right now on that 31, having a little bit of a trouble getting an opening. That's going to cost him nearly a half second, down from 1.7 to 1.2 seconds now. We'll see if Nadeau has the same problem getting by. No issues there. Able to cleanly take to the inside on an exit of the corner. Still might have lost a little bit of speed there. We see it stretching back out to 1.5 seconds now. But now a bit of clear racetrack to focus up. We'll see which of these drivers gets shaken by lap traffic and which can make the most of it. Keep an eye on the lap times as they cross the stripe, as Burchett really out of shape off 14 behind them. Slower lap that time, a 2:18.04 for Alex Wiggins and a 2:16.9 for Nadeau. That's going to allow him to pick up a little bit. As we saw, Wiggins make a massive mistake. Wiggins, your leader, overshoots turn one and gets completely off track. Let's take a rewind and back into the turn one incident here. Just way too hot, missed the braking marker entirely, and off into the gravel he goes. Big moment there for your race leader, and we'll see what that does to the tires. Probably not going to be too happy after a trip through the gravel. Probably going to be a little bit heated up, too, after such hard braking into turn one, trying to save it. But that's going to hand the lead to Nadeau now. So put that number 97, Lowe's Chevrolet, to the front. For any of you who might be older NASCAR fans, maybe it clicked before you, or for you before it did for me, but I'm just now realizing the irony that lies within the paint scheme and number choice for this front car, as Jimmy Johnson and Kurt Busch, not exactly the best of friends through their early careers, throughout the early 2000s overall. Trading blows week after week, not each other's biggest fans, and to see the paint scheme and sponsor from one sharing a number with the other is a bit funny to see, but it looks good regardless. Or off tracks, we see Burchett went off track on our feed. Spencer Smith had a bit of an incident. We'll go ahead and check that out for just a minute. Saw him go wide Almost on the same turn earlier. He's going to do it again. Just a little bit off. Not too bad. Gets back going just fine once again. Pretty spread out for right now until we hit that first round of pit stops. Expect that to mix up the field a little bit more. Zach Miller. We got two U.S. Army Esports trucks going at it. That's Miller in the 440 and in the 38, and the, for some reason, numberless truck is going to be Justin Bassett. Big slide there for Miller. Hard charging, clamping down those brakes into 14. That 73 sniffs the blood in the water now. Miller's going to be under fire from him in just a moment. Hard to the brakes on the outside, and 73 is going to go right around. Miller maybe looking to take a pit stop this time. He's going to fade to the right side of the track, and I think he's going to take that green flag pit stop for now. That's going to move the 73 Emerson up one spot, up to P14 now. Emerson up 6 spots so far this race. And at this point in time, shares the title of biggest mover between himself and also Jamie Capehart in that 49 machine. As we see Jamie go flying under the Sargento cheese bridge. Hard down to turn 5. Up the hill to turn 6. Nice and clean through there. Another new driver in the field, that 23 of Alan Blue. Joining us for the first time here at Road America. A lot of last-minute sign-ups for the league. Happy to have everybody in the field. So far, so good. We have a lot of clean racing. Nothing to be worried about whatsoever. Alan Blue runs 15th right now in that somehow numberless number 23. Trying to get some of these issues resolved for last week. Kind of hard to get everybody sorted out. Last minute signups and getting paint schemes and things working. But hopefully we'll have that fixed before our next race. Leaders are in the pits. That's going to hand over the lead to the 21 of O'Brien and that Monster Energy Ford F-150. Slip sliding all over the track. Join 11-second lead back to second place right now of Mack. This is just Aaron Mack's second week in the 280 Truck Series, running strong all day so far. Very sharp metallic purple Citizen Soldier Chevy Silverado. Looks great out there on track. Just demonstrating how how far ahead your leaders were. After pit stops, both of them are running currently 4th and 5th spot. After green flag pit stops, I still run 4th and 5th. Absolute blistering speed out of these two, which is no surprise. As ever, they're both extremely fast and don't make too many mistakes at all. And if they do, they're very good at recovering. A crash a little far back in the field. I believe Randall Peasley had a bit of a moment. according to our timing and scoring. We'll see what happened here. It says he jumped to the pits and had a crash. See a pull off track and back to the pits. Not sure what's going on there, but maybe Randall will give us an update in chat before too long. Right now, this is the battle. We've got Nadeau to the outside of Wiggins. Wiggins got the inside of the corner. He's going to clear him before the corner. Nadeau takes that lead back in an aggressive move to the outside in turn one and makes it stick. Wiggins doing everything he can to hold on, slip sliding off the corner. Dropping a tire in the grass. He's going to get that draft. He's going to have a look here down to turn 5. Downhill braking there. This is steeper than it looks, so these drivers have to be really careful. We see Wiggins extending that track to the right, allowing him to get a better exit. Not everybody knows that trick so well. Wiggins looking to the inside now. He's going to be side by side with Nadeau out of the corner. Still door to door as they go through 6 and 7. Down to turn 8 and entering the carousel now. Downhill brake zone once again. Wiggins got to be careful not to overshoot these downhill brake zones. Very easy to do, as we've seen before. One feature of this track is nearly every braking zone in this track is downhill, so you have a lot of added stopping distance that you wouldn't otherwise have on other courses. Oh, these drivers absolutely hanging these trucks out there. We see slip sliding, taking advantage of real estate that isn't even paved, coming off the corners just to gain any minute advantage over one another as they come up on the lap car of Greg Burchett yet again. We'll see if he plays a factor here. Oh, he's going to block the exit there for Wiggins. Nadeau's going to send it to the outside. Oh, he's going to back off. He's going to give him a little bit of space. That's some gentleman racing right there. Gave him the room he needed. Didn't want to cause an incident, potentially take both of them out. The rest of the leaders in the pits, that's going to hand the lead back over to these first and second place drivers of Wiggins and Nadeau. Taking a look here, looks like O'Brien's going to hold that advantage over Mac. Mac, a little bit longer pit stop there. Maybe a bit of an issue getting into his stall, not sure. They were a little bit closer when they came in. Back now, Aaron Mac finally getting out of the pits, going through turn 1. Looking back here, Hayes navigating a little bit of traffic. He's got the 23 Outland Blue in front of him. Allen peels off into the pits. That's going to give the 10th spot to Hayes. Following a few seconds behind his teammate, Brandon Torres. Checking in with Craig Bell. It's been a minute since we talked about him. He's at P7 right now. Up 2 spots so far for the day. Not a bad showing whatsoever, but his teammate definitely stealing the show up there in that 97 machine, duking it out with Alex Wiggins. Would not surprise me one bit if Wiggins ends up toward the top of that point standing board toward the end of the season. Got a late start on the season. These drivers do, I believe, get 1 provisional race. So 1 race of their choice will not count towards their season points tally. Some trouble for Ryan Bailey back here in the field. It's boosted machine. Oh, just locks up the rears and gets sideways. No damage, gets right rolling again. Hardly lost any time. That was a very clean recovery. Back down the road, America straight he goes. That Sal's and that 51's gonna have some company in a moment, especially with a big tank slapper slide like that. Bell slowly creeping his way up toward that 51. Of note, Jeff Dawson, that number 3, currently sitting 10th place, hits pit lane for his first service of the day. Very prolonged run there for him on this first stint. Stretched it out to 14 laps, whereas most of the rest of the drivers came in between laps 10 and 12. So maybe a bit of strategery going on there with that number 3 truck. Able to stretch that field quite a long ways as we see the 10 off track again. It's the gravel pit right before the carousel. Bell looking to the inside, off track a little bit for the 51. Trying to navigate lap traffic at the same time. Ooh, big slide there for Bell. Very easy to get out of shape on that high-speed kink there. Especially if you get too much curb. That can get you in trouble really quickly in these trucks with as light as the back ends are. A little bit wide there for Sal's. That's going to give Bell the inside. Oh, nearly contact there, but they kept it off each other. Through 13, down to final corner, turn 14. Bell's still got the inside. He's going to have the advantage here. Sal's looking to outbrake. Does by a little bit, but oh, big slide there from Bell. That's going to give the advantage to Sal. Sal's going to hang on to P6 for now. Absolutely on top of the wheel. Let's go on board. And he's, I think, let's go on board with Sal's. He's been absolutely hanging it. I take that back. Let's go on board with Bell. Watch the hand movements, counter steering as they get sideways in these braking zones and trying to get off the corners, putting all that power down, trying to make those 2 rear tires stick. Traction's at a premium. You see him extend that right a little bit. He'd probably get away with going a little bit further right there, as we saw your leaders do earlier. Hard on the brakes. Oh, nearly locks, actually did lock up a little bit. You saw the RPMs suddenly drop. That's a sign that they locked up the rears. Trying to stay off the 51. Looks like he had to take a bigger stab at the brakes than he cared to. These drivers only have 3 laps on their tires, and they're sliding this much already. That just tells you how hard they are pushing these trucks. Into 4th gear, getting everything they can. You see counter steering as that back end gets light through that slight right-hand kink there. Again, wide for the 51. It's been work for him on exit, but it gets loose right there. Bell taking a really cautious approach to this. Would say trying not to slide as much as in 51. I would say not as much, but that turn 14 right-hander seems to get him just about every time. So we see both drivers side by side now. This battle for the 7th spot on track. Screaming down to turn 1. Downhill, hard on the brakes. Bell going to claim that position. Bell up another spot. That's 3 spots gained so far. Up to P6 and climbing. Taking a look back here, it looks like we might have had a bit of a moment for Aaron Mack. Take a look at the replay. Hard into that braking zone. Let's see if it just locks it up. Maybe goes a little bit too wide. Just too much wheel. Putting it in, trying to avoid the 82, keeping it to the right. Too much wheel into it and got the rear loose. Once again, no damage. Nice and clean, though. Both cars get back on track with no trouble. Didn't even lose a spot. Going back live, a little bit of a gap now we see between Crank Bell and Ed Salz. Bell doing a pretty good job taking care of those tires, trying not to overdrive. I say that as he overdrives turn 3 just a little bit there. Goes a little bit wide, but still careful not to lock up those tires. And heat them up too much, as we mentioned earlier. Take a look back here. This is for the 17th spot. This is Ryan Bailey. Mike Morkrid, side by side. Heading down the hill towards turn 5. Really hot entry there for the 10. Probably the steepest downhill brake zone on the course. Can definitely catch you off guard if you're not careful. And once you get that itch, once you got the target in your sights and you just see in red, it's hard to keep that in the front of your mind as you're just wanting to push it as hard as you absolutely can to try to get that spot. Back up front, still more of the same between your leaders in tow. Out front, Wiggins, P2, 1.1 seconds the gap now. I do believe we missed a pass 2 laps ago. That was lap 16, I believe. I was able to pass Alex for the lead. And now stretching a little bit of a gap. Interior views giving you a little better look at the elevation in the track. Just how steep this uphill portion out of the front stretch is. Right here, the back of the truck likes to get a little bit light if you're on full throttle. Once those tires are worn out a little bit, it can get sketchy, especially if you're pulling out to pass someone at that time or putting any steering input at the front end of that truck whatsoever. It can make the rear pretty light. You see a little bit of dirt on track now. Might cause a little bit of issues through that section. Starting to accumulate a little bit. Drivers putting those right side tires all the way over the curb and into the sand. Starting to pull that onto the track a little bit. Jumping back to that sixth place battle. Bell and Sal's at it again. Little bit of a wide corner there. Pushed it a little too hard there for Bell. The 51's hungry. Ooh, goes pretty wide there. Almost tags the grass. Through 14. Good exit for the 51. Big slide for the 14. That's going to cost him that straight line speed. Sal's going to side draft the 14, pull alongside. He's going to have the advantage into one. Bell trying to outbrake, gonna hold that spot. Not going to push the issues. Fred Sal's. Sal's with a chance to cool off the tires. Refocus. He's able to run down the 14 alongside again as they head out of turn 3, through the kink of turn 4 and down to turn 5. Uphill section here goes sharply downhill into the next corner. Downhill now, hard on the brakes. Pretty shallow entry there for 51, trying to go defensive. Wide entry there for Sal's is going to give room for Bell to get back in the picture. Sliding all over the place. Great save there by Bell. A little bit out of shape. You saw a lot of quick left and right hand motions in the steering of that truck, trying to keep it in line. Good wide exit for the 51 there, taking advantage of every inch of real estate possible to maximize the exit speed out of the corner. Same there, just an inch, just a hair away from touching that grass every time by. They navigate the lap traffic. The 82 of Odell. 51's going to hit pit lane this time by. Sal's pit lane. That's going to give Bell the spot back up to 6th spot. Oh, so we see 2 tires in the grass for the 82. 82 looks like you might have stuck the back end of the fence a little bit right there. Not too bad. The truck still looks straight. Teammates going to go at it here on track. 95 of Torres, 90 of Hayes. Hayes got by Torres. Torres was ahead of Hayes earlier. It looks like we may have missed a pass not too long ago. Back in 19, it looks like Torres went off track, and that might have given the advantage to Caleb Hayes. Now's the part of the race where you got to sit there and remind yourself, that's my teammate. I don't want to screw up his race or accidentally screw up my race. Race smart. Race hard, but race smart. Good solid day for this HTM team so far, running 7th and 8th respectively right now. Field leaders start to hit pit lane. Nadeau, Wiggins, both enter and now exit the pits. Nadeau going to retain that lead coming out of the pits. Both drivers using that real tight inside line, dipping those right side tires on the inside of the curb in the sand. Logic would make you think it wouldn't be faster, but they obviously know something that we don't know. Teammates Torres and Hayes hit pit road now. Wiggins and Nadeau back close to the front of the field, second and third as they run. O'Brien, the leader right now, probably going to hit pit lane soon. We see someone all the way to the inside wall. That's going to be the 49. 49 a K-part, running 12th right now. Sit back on track. That's just a very interesting line through that corner. Just under 10 laps to go now. Lap 21 of 30, 10 laps. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a third of this race so far. We're an hour underway already after just 22 laps. And this is your battle for first right now. Second and third on track as it stands. O'Brien has yet to make his second pit stop of the day. Expecting that soon, so this will be your battle for the lead right here between the 11 of Wiggins and the 97 of Nadeau. A little bit of a slide there out of 5. All right, sorry, out of turn 7 there for Wiggins. Gonna let that gap increase to about 1.4 seconds between the top two. Heavy braking. You watch the nose of those trucks absolutely slam down. Front splitter nearly dragging the racetrack under braking. Over the curbs, left hand, right hand, down to turn 14. Ooh, locked up that left front a little bit. Will that cost him? We see the 2 of Sullivan off track there off of 14. He's going to hit pit lane after that. fast lap of the race so far for Nadeau. That lap, a 2-minute 13.67. That is a blistering fast lap. Wiggins nearly a second behind on pace of 2:14.35. Nadeau has found another gear and is setting sail. Immense speed that we have not seen all day out of these trucks so far. These two just continue to push the limit. How fast these trucks can go. You see extending that right-hand side of the track all the way back to the inside, all the way to the outside, nearly touching the grass on the exit of the turn. Wiggins actually gaining a little bit through that sector. A little wiggle there for Nadeau. Nadeau's got some lap traffic coming up. We'll see how he navigates that. 46. Mike's going to yield, take that inside line, get out of the leader's way. Going to be a non-factor there. Good heads-up driving for the 46. .9 seconds the gap now. Twitchy rear end off of 14 for both trucks. Screaming down the road, America's straight. Coming to 6 to go this time. Lap 25. Yawed all the way out. You see almost drifting, sliding all the way through turn 1. Both of these drivers putting it all, laying it all out on the line here on track. Nothing in reserve whatsoever. They're going to burn every last ounce of fuel. They're going to burn every last shred of tire off of these trucks in the last several laps. Gap still maintained at 0.9 seconds for Nadeau. Wiggins trying everything possible to run him down. The most frustrating feelings as a driver. Having the car in front in sight and absolutely hanging it out, putting it all on the line, doing everything you can to catch, but just not able to make any ground. That's your actual leader, has yet to pit just in front of them. Last pit was lap 12. We'll see if he peels off pit lane just before the leaders get to him. Probably be ideal for them in order for O'Brien to be a non-factor, not potentially impact this battle. He's going to do just that. O'Brien off the pit lane. Now the battle for the lead between Nadeau and Wiggins. 0.7 seconds of gap now. Sometimes all it takes is the mentality of having that lap car in front of you, making you think, what if he stays on track? What am I going to have to do? How will I have to react? That can take you away from the task at hand, which is trying to keep that 11 at bay. See, losing a little bit of ground now, pushing wide through turn 3's the 97. Wiggins, 2 car lengths behind Nadeau. And catching. Great exit for Wiggins there. He's going to pull alongside before entry of turn 5. door-to-door down into 5 on the brakes. Wiggins going to take the lead, and Nadeau is going to try for the crossover. Not sure if he's got the position. He's got a fender on him. Under the bridge, through the left-hander, still side by side. Wiggins just clearing. Nadeau hanging it out, trying to get a little bit of a fender to the inside, but not going to happen this time. Down into the carousel now. The 11, the 97. Just a brief moment of a mental lapse for the 97, and Wiggins is taking over as these drivers are both hanging it out. You can see the increase in pace. Still 2 minute 14-second laps for these drivers. Still running fresh tire like as they had just come out of the pit stop lap times. Five laps into this tire run already. Half a run on tires, and they're still running new tire times. That is impressive. 31 probably not going to be a factor here. Hopefully going to yield to the leaders. Wiggins to the inside. Nadeau's going to try to draft that 31 just a little bit. Get a little bit of help. Get that toe down the front stretch. It's going to be a 5-car length gap into 1. Downhill, both on the clamps hard. 97 sideways. Nadeau sideways. He keeps it together. And gains 3 car lengths in the process. What a save by Nadeau into turn 1. Still right on the back of Wiggins. 3 car lengths the gap now. Getting all he can out of that draft. Nadeau is trying to hunt Wiggins back down. Wiggins not making any mistakes. Not going to fall prey to the mind games. Not put off by the sight of seeing the 97 sideways, careening towards him into turn 1. He's still calm, cool, and collected inside that 11 truck. Ooh, bit of a weird hit there on the grass off the curb for the 97. Hopefully that didn't affect anything. It looked like a bit of a weird bump. Doesn't seem to. Nadeau very good through this section. He's always making up a car length or 2 through the carousel. We'll see how he gets off the corner, because that's the important part. A little bit sideways. I think that's going to give Wiggins the edge. Down the straight through the right-hand kink. Down into Canada corner. Through the Bill Mitchell bend, turn 13, down into 14, the right-hander. Big slide for the 11 out of the corner, gathers it up nicely. Shouldn't affect him too much down the straight, and he's almost out of drafting range of that 97 at this point. He's got a 0.9 second gap and pulling away. Maybe too much, too early for the 97. We mentioned he had the fastest lap of the race right after those green flag pit stops. Might have run the tires off the truck too early. Wiggins might have been saving for the end of the run. Near full length run, 10 laps from when they last pitted. They pitted on lap 20, both of these drivers. 10 laps to the finish. That's a full tire run. Style points to Burchett if he caught him in the background, sliding all the way across the field behind the lead battle. Gap 0.7. Nadeau a little bit better through that section. Couple laps to go. We're going to skip back just a few spots. We got a battle brewing for the teammates again. Hayes and Torres. 90 and 95, respectively. This for the 8th position on track. Hayes has it. Torres wants it. Separation growing right now, growing a little bit. Hayes pulling him out about a second gap over Torres for now. We're going to cut back to your leaders, Wiggins and Nadeau. 0.7 seconds, still the gap. Well ahead of any other competition. 39 seconds ahead of third place O'Brien. Dan Jensen quietly having a solid day back there in 4th. Aaron Mack also having a solid day back in 5th. No issues for them whatsoever. Looking like that 6th and 7th place battle between Salves and Bell has pretty much settled itself. Got right around 20 seconds between those two cars, so that should be where they've finished provisionally. You couldn't script it better. The closest battle on track is between the two leaders. Yet again. A repeat of last week at Atlanta, where Wiggins claimed victory on the last restart over Nadeau. Can Nadeau get redemption here? He's closing the gap down to half a second now. About 4 to 5 car lengths on track. Force a shallow entry there, making their way by Hayes. That hurt the exit of Nadeau just a little bit, not being able to push that truck to the outside of the track. He had to cut it a little tight, and obviously that's going to set him back a couple of car lengths down the straight. Lap 29. 2 to go here at Road America. Slow braking there. That's going to allow Nadeau to get right up on the bumper through turn 5. Through 6 into 7. Still 1 car length back. Nadeau closing the gap again, but it's going to take a mistake from Wiggins. He's going to have to push wide probably to get a nose in there unless he wants to get the bumper to him. We'll see what happens, what he's willing to do to get this win. Almost had the opportunity there. A little bit of wide entry to the carousel for Wiggins. both extremely fast. Through the kink. Down now through Canada corner, turn 12. Still just car length and half gap. He's in drafting range now. 2 car lengths separate the leaders. Nuto gaining, white flag lap. Final time through turn 1, hard on the brakes. Wiggins by 2 car lengths. Clean entry or exit for both drivers. Through the kink, down to turn 3. A little bit of lap traffic to contend with. We'll see how Wiggins is able to navigate. No issue. They're on the straightaway. Torres is going to yield to the leaders. Car length and a half gap now. Nadeau able to close just a little bit in the draft. Hard on the brakes, downhill into 5. Far to the left, right side of the track, then to the left. Maximize and exit. 97 using every last square millimeter of track possible. Right on the bumper again. All over the bumper. No contact made, though. Nadeau's playing nice for now. We'll see if that's going to bite him. Again, wide entry into the carousel for Wiggins. He's looking to maximize that exit. He wants to pull a gap down the straight. Had to let out of the gas a little bit. Nadeau's going to gain off the corner. Half a car length now. Nadeau strong here. Gets a little bit of a four-wheel slide going. He's going to lose a car length and a half. Now back to 3 car lengths. As they scream down towards turn 12, the right-hander. Great underbraking there. Half a car length now. Nadeau's got him inside. He's got one more corner to do it, though. Can he get there? He's going to look inside, fading. Got to get a great exit here. Wiggins can't slide at all. Both clean exits. But it's going to be Wiggins that's going to hold on for victory in Wisconsin. Wiggins takes win number 2 in back-to-back wins at Atlanta and Road America. Phenomenal shootout between these two drivers. Absolutely unbelievable. Find me better racing action anywhere. I don't think you can. What a fight to hold on to that lead for Wiggins. And Alex, I promise I have the Discord audio fixed. We will get your interview this week. I will redeem myself this week. Rest of the drivers coming through. O'Brien holds on for 3rd place. 4th place, Jensen finishing off his quiet day. Aaron Mack's gonna bring it home. Coming out of the final corner and up the hill, he's gonna bring it home in 5th place. Round out that top 5. Dallas and Bell, who battled for so long, gonna bring it home 6th and 7th. Strong showing for both drivers. Good first race here for Sells. Bell gonna bring it home 7th. 8th is Torres. 9th, teammate Hayes. Torres got back around Hayes at some point. Gonna claim title of Superior HTM teammate for the week. 49K part for the first week out. Claims that final spot in the top 10. Great showing there. 56 of Smith brings it home 11th. Bassett 40-42. finishes P12. Emerson, the 73. Consistent all race, finishes P13. Dotson, P14. Mike Morkrid in that 46, number P15. Alan Blue, first time out in that 23 machine, is going to finish 16th. But the man of the hour, absolutely throwing a party out here on track, is the 11 of Wiggins. An absolutely extraordinary battle. Is able to hold off Nadeau for the win at Road America. Here's a look at the rest of your finishing positions. Spencer Smith doing a pretty good job in that P11 finish for turned around turbos. Unfortunately, issues for teammate Randall Peasley. Finishes last of our 23 car field. Sully and Rozzi, both puddle jumpers drivers, having a bit of a rough go at it in 21st and 22nd, respectively. Greg Birch, that we saw off track several times, can bring it home 20th. Pegasus Racing. Odell 19th. Bailey 18th. Zach Miller finishes P17th. That is our finishing results for today, but we'll go ahead and see if we can get our top finishers in here for an interview. Alex, Adam Vox up here in the booth. After, probably going to lose my voice after that one. That was a very intense battle between you and Kyle for the end of the race. You traded spots all race. Both of you had very, very similar pace. We knew it was going to come down between you two. Putting a gap on the field yet again. Tell us what it's like to repeat this week and what was going through your mind the last couple laps, because it looks like something might have got on Kyle's mind, because we saw a little bit of a slip up you were able to take advantage of, and then you never looked back after that.
Crazy. He's going to race with respect, and that's the same way I try to race everybody, and it was fun. I made 2 mistakes on the first and second run, and I knew I was faster than him on the short run. Long run, he could save tires more. It was going to be fun right from the start. Around lap 10, I told him it was going to be a good finish no matter what happened.
And then it was. It's just a second here to tweak some Discord sound settings, because for some reason I get notifications sounds with your voice. Hopefully we won't talk over you too much. Did you have any concerns going into the day, though? I mean, I know this was kind of unfamiliar territory for a lot of the guys coming in here to Road America. First time out for a lot of people. I think Dan was his first time out here, first time on the track. And I think several others had a bit of a rough go toward the back of the field. But do you have any concerns coming in? How familiar are you with the track? I mean, you seem to know your way around pretty well.
Yeah, I've done a few road races here before. It's a really nice track. I know when the Cup Series raced here, it was a lot of fun to watch, and it's a really good facility. It's a shame they don't go here anymore, but yeah, I know the track quite well, I would say, from a road car perspective. Of course, this is completely different, but it's still good to know the track, where everything is. But it was fun.
Yeah, well, congrats on back-to-back wins. I mean, what was the opening that you saw? What had to happen for you to get by? Because that was not wasn't too many mistakes out of the 97. You still made it happen. Yeah, we saw maybe he had a couple opportunities at you, but he definitely took the high road there and didn't put the bumper to you when maybe he could have.
Yeah, it was definitely just a mistake by him was the only way I was going to get around him. And a few small mistakes, I got to his bumper. I think made the move into four and kind of just tried my best to not look back, make any big mistakes, and I was able to not pull away, of course, but he stuck right with me, and I appreciate him not booting me out of the way there on the last lap.
Yeah, and all for the better. Hadn't got to enjoy an absolutely amazing battle because of it. Yet again, 2 weeks back to back, late race drama and a spectacular finish to show for it. Congrats again, back to back wins. We're seeing you just absolutely skyrocket through the point standings. I'm excited to see uh, where you end up in the points after this week. I know we had a couple drivers take provisionals and such, so we might jumble things a little bit. But I'm sure you'll be in the contention pretty soon here, if not already after this week. So congrats yet again. Been a spectacular day for you, and thanks for driving for us. I mean, it's can't do it without you guys out there on track putting on a show.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to next week. It should be a fun race, and especially the rest of the season. It's a pretty good schedule.
All right. Anything else you want to say or shout out anybody while you're got the mic?
No, just Zach for putting this on, you for doing the broadcast, and everybody that comes out and races. It's a good time.
All right, fans, you heard it here. Alex Wiggins, your winner here at Road America. We'll have a good night, Alex, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Kyle, was a hard fought battle. At the end, you fought tooth and nail trying to catch Alex, and you had the lead there for a while. Can you point out one thing that maybe you could have done better in the final laps there? I mean, both you made very few mistakes. I theorize that maybe you pushed a little too hard too early, and that allowed him to catch up a little bit. But take us through the last few laps and what was going through your mind throughout that battle.
Exactly that. I pushed way too hard at the beginning of that final stint, where the previous two, I had kind of saved my tires at the beginning and caught Alex at the end, and we flipped at that end. I got too excited and tried to gap Alex as much as I could, but yeah, it was just burning my stuff up, and that was it. I held on for a little bit. I was hoping that he'd have a brake lock up and slide off corner just a little bit, but no, he figured it out and ran me back down, and I just beat myself.
Yeah, sorry to hear. Playing bridesmaid again, second week in a row. We saw you finish P2, very close race, very close finish at Atlanta last week as well. But we saw you definitely playing the role of a sportsman there, not putting the bumper to him. We see you had a couple opportunities on that last lap that a couple of us were nervous about, and we were definitely nervous on turn one. Take us through that slide. What were you thinking? Did you think it was over for you when you got almost turned around in turn one?
Yeah, I'm staring at Alex's bumper, and all of a sudden I see his nose drop. I'm like, oh, I'm too close, and I hit the brakes, and truck started to wheel hop. I kind of counter steered it into one and made a nice sick drift, and didn't really lose too much time on that one. So I was just like, woo, yeah, you get one, maybe two of those a race, and yeah, that was, if I did that the next time, it was probably gonna either shove Alex off or just gonna spin out myself.
Yeah, that was very impressive to see. I definitely thought you were going to lose more than you did. You lost maybe a car length and a half, 2 car lengths off that, and somehow didn't overheat the tires and were able to get back to his bumper a couple of times, but just he didn't make that mistake or leave you an opening anywhere. Spectacular performance by both of you, putting on an absolute show for everybody. I'm sure everyone watching the stream had a great time. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out this week or anything you'd like to mention before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'd just like to say hi to everyone out there in the Faster Horses Media universe watching. Yeah, hi to my parents. I love you guys watching. Hopefully, it was an exciting show. My girlfriend, who might be having a nap or doing her nails, I don't know. I'm in VR right now. Uh, you, Adam, for putting on the broadcast. Everybody out here for putting on a really clean and exciting race. And yeah, my team, Lemon Lawyers, for being great teammates. And I think I got everything. Oh, and it hurts me more to say this, but it's actually 3 weeks in a row that I finished second.
Well, I mean, there's worse things that could happen. I'd rather finish second 3 times than potentially wreck out of the race or have anything else befall you. But I think that's definitely going to be enough to hang on to your points lead. It's still pretty solid over your teammate in second place right now. We'll see how he ends up after this week once we get the points updated. But it should be pretty close. Our top 10 in points is still pretty darn close because we've had a lot of different winners. I'm sure Alex is going to start chewing his way up through that top 10 in points, but having missed a couple of races, it's definitely going to be an uphill climb for him. But for you, definitely going to be enough to hang on to that points lead, and excellent drive by your teammate as well, finishing inside the top 10 in, I believe, P7 this race. So a great points day for the team as well. So congrats on that, and another fine showing, and thanks again from myself and all the viewers for putting on a great battle there with Alex at the end. Just providing great entertainment. I might have lost my voice from it, but we'll be back in time for Saturday's charity race. Are you participating in that?
No, I have to go out of town this week, so I won't be there for that. But I'll be here for Kentucky next week, though.
Absolutely. All right, we will see you there, sir. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, take care, boys.
All right, that's as good a segue as any. That's going to wrap up our race coverage, but we've got a couple things to mention before we wrap up for the evening. There's the 280 charity race coming up on Saturday at 3 p.m. right back here on Faster Horses Media. That's going to be a $10 buy-in for the competitors. We will be racing the cup cars, the current next-gen cup cars at Daytona. And benefits are going to go to military members, service members, and veterans and their families who were impacted by Hurricanes Helene and Milton. And that's what those buy-ins are going to go for, and any donations. You can look in the description of this live stream. If you go down under the stream, you'll see a link to the GoFundMe there. Anything helps. We would love to. We're already over halfway to our goal, and that's amazing to see. We're not even to race day yet. So either scan this QR code or look for that link down there. And like we said, all proceeds go to service members and veterans and their families who were affected by that. And that's going to be October 26th. That's Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We hope to see you there. I think it's going to be a good race at Daytona. Definitely going to be no shortage of action there. Probably going to be a lot of wrecks and a lot of fun. Nobody's going to take it all that seriously, but there will be prizes throughout the race for the competitors in the field. We're going to have a nice trophy for the winner and a couple other prizes throughout the stream. We're going to have Randall Peasley on here to explain what some of those are going to be before the race, and we hope to see you there for some more action. But that has been it for now. Of course, we got to mention our sponsor. That's going to be 614 Designs. See at the bottom of your screen there. That's actually our league organizer. That is Zach Miller at 6.1.4_designs on Instagram if you want to follow him, or Zach D. Miller on Trading Paints if you have any need for paints in iRacing. If you need him to paint up your car, make it look nice. You see several examples in the background of that banner on the bottom. He's, of course, got examples on his own truck on track every week, so got to shout him out, of course, and thank him for putting all this on. But as always, I've been Adam Lavox. Thanks for joining us here in Wisconsin for an exciting battle at the end of the race. Once again, Alex Wiggins wins. And unfortunately, once again, Kyle Nadeau is the bridesmaid, finishing P2, but put on an absolute spectacle of show at the end. So we will hopefully see you next week. Well, not next week. We'll see you Saturday. I'm trusting you all to be here. And, of course, next week, next Thursday night, yet again, for our 280 Truck Series race at Kentucky Speedway, back here, same place, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we'll see you there. But until then, just remember, we're all in this together. Hopefully we'll see you then. Good night.